So you had the three best college quarterbacks were on display this weekend. It was so great. You had like 30 NFL GMs and scouting directors at the USC-UCLA game. You had Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma. So here's what I saw this weekend with the three college quarterbacks. The big loser was Baker Mayfield for Oklahoma. It's not going to hurt him in the Heisman, but once again, we got a big ego, lousy judgment, undersized Big 12 hot dog, crotch grabbing against Kansas, taunting players. Listen, again, it won't hurt him in the Heisman because he's going to win it going away, and nobody in the NFL gives a rip about the Heisman. That's a college award. It doesn't mean anything. But do I think in the NFL there are people that, because of Johnny Manziel recently showing us college immaturity equals NFL immaturity? Jameis Winston, example, precedent, college immaturity judgment, now rearing its head in the NFL. Do I think people go, oh my God, it's a precedent? Remember, precedents work both ways. When Russell Wilson came into this league and was small, people said, hey, small quarterbacks can make it. You had a precedent. And when college quarterbacks get in trouble and look like idiots, here's Baker Mayfield having a problem with the cops, then go into the NFL and you're also an idiot, people go, oh my God, you got a precedent. There is a precedent with Baker Mayfield. He plays in a video game pillow fight conference. He's undersized. He's got bad judgment. He's cocky with too much of an ego. It's not going to hurt him in the Heisman. But in the end, I watch that and I think, dude, you are not gifted enough for me to put you on my draft board. Never forget, we've got a Big 12 precedent here. He is Manziel. Now, I think he's more talented a thrower than Johnny Manziel. I think he's a little thicker than Johnny Manziel. I never bought into Manziel. Saban said he was going to be great. I told you. Bust, undraftable. I'm not saying this guy's not draftable, but I'm telling you over the weekend, he was the big loser. The big winner was Josh Rosen at UCLA. They've got no running game. They just fired their head coach. He faced his more talented rival, USC. He was on the road. And his poise, his refinement, his accuracy, it is time for Josh Rosen to come out. Listen, we've said this. UCLA has a great reputation. The optics of UCLA are like, what a program. Google how many 10-win seasons they have in the last 19 years. I think it's 3. Jim Mora's got 2, and they just fired him. The expectations are big. The overall talent, meh. This is a USC town. They've got the national championships, the Heisman winner, the attendance, and the fan base. Rosen looked really refined. It didn't matter that he lost the game. Not a single scout gave a rip about that. Nobody cares. They're looking for traits and qualities. And he is big, and he is poised, and he throws an absolutely filthy football. I thought Baker Mayfield, the big loser, Josh Rosen, the big winner, and Sam Darnold, it was a push. Darnold was exactly what he is. Raw, super talented, a playmaker who at times can be reckless. End of the half, burned the clock, made a horrible interception. He knows better. He could come out. He could play in the NFL. Absolutely no question. If he comes out, he could still be the number 1 pick. Probably the number 1 pick. But Kirk Herbstreit, when he saw both Rosen and Darnold together, here's what he saw.
He needs another year of college football. If he wants to be a finished product, he needs to come back and play college football for another year.
So if someone is an unfinished product, is willing to draft you in the top 3 or 4.
Yeah, go play for the Browns. That'd be fun. Why not wait a year and become a guy that can work through your progressions in the pocket? You watching him tonight? He looks at his primary receiver. It's taken. He gets happy feet. And he wants to take off and be an athlete. That doesn't work in the NFL.
So in your view, Rosen far more NFL ready.
Not even close.
So, and again, Darnold's such a raw talent, and he plays the right position. I mean, Mitch Trubisky isn't nearly as good as Sam Darnold. He went number 1. The question becomes, like Andrew Luck, is Darnold willing to stay in college another year, absolutely get more refined? It's not about winning more football games. Can he now look to his second, his third receiver? Can he be more patient in the pocket? Big loser Mayfield, big winner Rosen. I thought Sam Darnold was a push. I've seen Sam Darnold. I've seen every snap he's ever taken. And we can criticize him. This is what he is. An incredibly fascinating, dramatic playmaker who at times could use a little more refinement and at times locks in on his number one wide receiver. But for the record, don't think he can't play in the NFL. Trubisky is getting better and better each week. Trubisky's not close to going. So you love college football. I know on Saturday.
I do.
Yeah, no. You and Jimmy Johnson on a Saturday. You fly in here to L.A. on Saturday.
Right.
Then you guys go to your hotel room and you eat that whole chicken and beers and you watch college football.
Right.
So Saturday, boy, we got to see everything. We got Baker Mayfield. We got Josh Rosen.
Right.
We got Sam Darnold.
Hey, that Rosen guy kind of impressed me.
Okay, so let's roll a little tape.
Yeah.
So now everybody loved Darnold because USC's a big football power and Darnold's
Right.
like a little Favre. He's making plays. And then all of a sudden, Rosen came out side by side with Darnold and everybody's like, oh, boy, what'd you see?
Yeah, he can snap it off. I like his motion a lot. He snaps it off really good. Rosen.
Just the way it pops out of his...
Boom. Big, strong, and snaps it off.
Little thin, worry you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course it will. You want every quarterback to come out and be like Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, that's not the way it works.
You know, you want them all 6'5", 250, and have the quick arm and the strength. But no, because Jared Goff is a spindly kid. He weighs 212, 215, 6'4".
Okay,
but I like this kid. I'm not worried about his.
Okay, now how about this? Darnold's reckless, Terry.
Right.
I keep hearing Darnold's reckless. Does
Right.
that worry you?
It would only worry me in the sense that he'll make being reckless if he starts his rookie year in the NFL. If he comes out, if he starts his rookie year, he'll bring on more negative stuff than he probably can handle. In other words, he could throw 5 picks, he could throw interceptions,
Right.
he could cost you games. But do I like the gambler in him? Yeah, he's got a little Brett Favre. He's got a little me in him.
He does.
I threw a lot of picks.
Yeah,
what
you
the
did.
hell? Throw them up there.
No,
I mean, you're going to have them. But I don't mind it. I will not. Listen, a good quarterback coach can coach a lot of that out of him.
Okay, so this weekend we're talking about college quarterbacks. You got Baker Mayfield down there. He's got a lot of Terry Bradshaw on him, but I saw him grab his crotch, and I didn't like that at all.
No,
What do you make of that Baker Mayfield kid? By the way, Manziel did a lot of that garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, Terry. What do you?
He's always been like this. Manziel was always like that. Cam Newton was run to the end zone, and Cam was Cam, and we finally accepted all of this behavior. But I think it's a character thing, and you have to be aware that if you get him, and you might get some of this, and that's not a good thing. He apologized, but he only apologized when everybody got on to him and said, "Hey, you got to go out there and apologize."
That's right.
It's a childish thing, and it's an immature thing, and it'll hurt him. It's going to hurt him. Definitely going to hurt him. Now, let's take that aside. There's a lot about him I like.
What?
Oh, man, he's a competitor. He's got all that moxie. He's got that football ability, stuff you like. Matter of fact, we were watching him, Jimmy and I, and we were sitting there thinking of the teams he could really help, This guy could handle Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's got that. He is a fighter. He is a gritty guy that hates to lose. You can see it in the way he's playing. He's just dynamic.
He's
and
tough.
He's strong, and he's got a great arm. But he's got a little bit of smart ass in him.
Yeah.
And I don't like those kind of players.
Either do I.
I don't like them. You know what? I didn't like Cam Newton when he was doing all that stuff, and Johnny Manziel I couldn't stand.
Yeah.
And I've come around to Cam because I'm 69 and these are kids,
Well,
and so
I
had to adjust.
And Cam's also sick. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that can throw it like Cam.
Yeah,
At some
Cam.
point, you just kind of go, the guy's ridiculous talent.
He's like, if Cam Newton walked in there right now in his uniform, you'd go, good God.
You think he's a defensive end?
Oh, he's a powerful man.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.